So let me just have a look at SLERF. So SLERF is SLERF and Sol kind of are hand in hand, yeah. I think SLERF leads Sol, so this is something to bear in mind. It did this before, and I think it's doing it again. So if you're unsure about what's happening, then just look at SLERF, and then you'll kind of give you the clue. You see SLERF is, I'll kind of bring up Sol now, and we kind of looked at this together before, didn't we? Let me pull up my Sol chart. Gotta find it first. You see here, Solana pumped, took out the highs, and look at where SLERF is doing. Nothing. It's going sideways. You see that? So while Solana showed strength, SLERF didn't show strength. And so I think SLERF is leading Sol. You see SLERF is actually just dropped underneath the value area high, lost the neckline, and I think Solana is actually following SLERF. You see SLERF here is looking much weaker than Solana. Solana here looks quite strong, but actually SLERF is telling us that actually it's not very strong. It's actually kind of relatively weak. Again, I mean, strategically, what do? Do you trade your tokens? Do you take profit? You should always take profit if you want to just kind of reward yourself, or if you're just holding spot for higher time frame moves, for higher, holding for higher, then you know, just you can kind of deleverage at the highs and then kind of lightly leverage back into support. That's kind of a good way. And then when you're back at the highs, you're deleveraging, so you're taking profit. Your profit is actually when you're taking profit on your leverage positions, deleverage the highs. When you see the price showing a little bit of weakness or the waves of complete, then you can kind of deleverage. So when it comes to SLERF, I was kind of lightly leveraged, and then when I saw that the wave 5 was complete, I kind of deleveraged. I did think it was possible that we could kind of ABC here, and that's the video that I made yesterday, yeah, something like this. And it did kind of try to go up, but it didn't. You see, we didn't get the impulse, did we? That was where you got a little bit of reaction, but then you're wanting to go up for the next wave. It didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen. And then Solana's going up, and then SLERF is going sideways. That's the clue, isn't it? That tells you that actually this correction is probably a little bit more prolonged. So potentially there's your first corrective move. And now we're in the next corrective move, however this looks like. So this is clearly going to be some kind of zigzag. Maybe with SLERF, we're going to kind of come and test this high volume node and then kind of put in another whatever. I mean, you want ABCs. Maybe that's your first ABC. Maybe we're going to get like an ABC here and then another ABC. I don't know. I don't really know, actually. But I just want to see this correction complete. And so as time passes, the easier it will be to see this correction complete. It's crazy because look, we're already at 34 cents. Yesterday or the day before we were at 48. So it's quite volatile SLERF. A lot of people don't have the stomach for the volatility. And that's why you should never buy the pumps. You should always kind of look for the dips. SLERF is extremely strong. Yeah, it pumped way before everything, the market, it started pumping before the market. It kind of led the way, actually, although I think Doge actually led the way. And so here you see now we're getting big pullbacks. A lot of trap longs are now underwater, and so they're probably just selling their positions. Maybe that big long at 4.41 cents, the 1 million or the 2 million long, is probably kind of closing his position, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just holding and he's just going to buy more. Hopefully he's going to buy more. But in this context, again, what we need is for Bitcoin to find support. It's really important. And I can't emphasize that enough. Like if Bitcoin doesn't find support, then we could pull back quite a distance. Yeah. Quite a distance. So let's have a look at my Elliott waves, which I was looking at before. let's have a look at this. The correction. Nope. So yeah, so you see yesterday we on time we got a little bit of reaction, but it wasn't the impulsive move, so that it wasn't enough. Yeah, and the minute you kind of go above the high and you lose the high, then you know that actually correction continues, and actually it's not looking as strong as you need it to look. If we were going to get an impulsive move, that was the moment. And it, timing wise, it did actually react. There was a little reaction there, wasn't there? It's a very slight reaction. It's about 4% reaction, but it wasn't enough. And so that was potentially your first corrective move. Okay, potentially that was your first move, like that. Now we're going down, don't know how far, and potentially we could go like that. We've seen it before, where it does that, where it kind of mimics the first move and the last move. And so clearly we are looking for a zigzag. Again, we're looking for a zigzag, and that's because we've pumped so far up. So let's see. We have to see how this ends. Let me have a look at these higher time frame levels. So we got some like daily levels here to test, back test the daily level. Then we've got this weekly level slightly lower down. See that? So we may actually just fall all the way back down to the daily level, to this weekly level. Volumes, that kind of corresponds with this high volume node. Yeah. I'm still looking for another pump. Yeah, don't think just because we're correct here, I'm not looking for it. And like I said, maybe then the next one we might kind of have a lower target. I think if the conditions are right, we could actually still go through 280, but obviously we kind of have to hold this high volume node. Yeah, if we start losing a high volume node, then what is a high volume node? People might be asking, what's a high volume node? Well, when I kind of do a volume pull on the range, you can see actually it's a little bit higher now. I have to update it. You can see here these volume nodes. There's a volume node there, so actually this volume node is moved. It's a little bit higher there. There's one lower down here. You see there's one lower down here, and then you have the point of control, which is the highest volume node. Yeah, so these are the kind of natural areas where the price finds support and resistance based on volume. You see the volume is actually kind of the high volume nodes moved up. Does that change things? Yeah, it could change things a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of corresponding with the daily level. So naturally, I'll be looking for that level to find support as we go down now. And based on this first corrective move, it is possible that we then slowly fall to the weekly level, but then we have to impulse. We have to impulse. We want to see impulsive moves then. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking Wednesday, Thursday, to be honest with you, just based on what I was looking at Bitcoin. And based on this, if we do go down fast today, and then we kind of go sideways and down, then it could make sense. It could make sense. But we'll have to see. As we get more price action, we'll be able to evaluate this better. And then obviously you can match that up with some kind of fib retracement. There's a golden pocket here from this pivot to the top one, even to the top one. So kind of this is the golden pocket on the high volume nodes on the daily level. Yeah, it is actually also possible to kind of find support here, not go further down, bounce and just hold it. That'll be more bullish again. So if you can hold support levels that are meant to hold, and then on the back test you find the higher low, then that's actually more bullish. Yeah, but obviously if the correction, the way it's kind of playing out, looks like it wants to kind of go there, and then it kind of maybe it will go down and then it will come back up. Yeah, that looks more. So you're looking for ABCs and corrective moves like that at the moment. That's kind of what I'm imagining on this. And then hopefully what you'll be looking for, if we do come all the way down to this weekly level and hold it as support, then what you're looking for is a reclaim, and then off we go. Yeah, and then you just have to get past that value area high, and then if we do come all the way down here, yeah, the 618 will put you back at the high. 1-to-1 might be it. That's a big level, to be honest with you. So, but what I've noticed with SLERF is that it ultra pumps, so it's hard to predict where it's going to find actual resistance. Naturally, the first level of resistance, if we do come down to this weekly level, would be the 618, which will be right back at these local highs for the end of the fifth wave here. Okay, ideally we go higher, and then ideally if we do go higher, we have a really nice flat correction here. That ideally the higher, as high as possible. Like no one can really predict that. In my mind, 80 cents would be amazing, but again, you have to count the waves. When you launch here, Bitcoin has to find support, and then you're going to count 3 impulsive waves and 2 corrective waves to complete a 5-wave move. And that's kind of how I knew that this was over. So if people have been following me, you'll know that I said this is over, right? And we're just looking for a correction now. Yeah. And I said this wasn't the impulse. This move wasn't impulsive. That was corrective. I was hoping that this was just a simple ABC and will go up, but obviously that's not the way it's playing out, because there's no strength here, because Bitcoin isn't showing strength. And so naturally, this is the first leg of our correction. We're looking for the next leg, and then the next leg, the kind of the WX and then the Y. And usually it kind of plays out like this. Now, I don't know, this could kind of end here. I don't know how this is going to, we have to wait for this ABC to complete. Okay, this makes sense. This is really strong support. So if people are looking just for a nice trade, yeah, it's a kind of trade, then something like this would be a nice trade, because you've got the golden pocket, you've got high volume node and a daily level. And ideally in this situation, if you're just looking to trade just a kind of a simple trade, that would be a really nice trade. Yeah, a loss and hit the daily level, reclaim, kind of get back into the golden pocket, and get right back into that neckline potentially. Be a nice trade. Anyway, that's SLERF. Let's have a look at Solana quickly, because I think SLERF is actually showing a lot of strength when Bitcoin is showing strength, and so therefore I think we're gonna start seeing more strength on SLERF. And I think SLERF is leading Solana at the moment. So you've heard me say this before. SLERF is probably going to be the leveraged token that follows Solana. Yeah, while other meme coins are just doing their own meme thing, I actually think there's quite a tight correlation between SLERF and Solana. And SLERF, usually, from everything that I've experienced from the beginning of when SLERF launched to now, is that SLERF seems to be leading Solana, and it's kind of like the leverage play of Solana, right? So a lot of people just don't leverage, they use spot, but they might just kind of swap between SLERF and Solana, kind of in between. And so at the moment I see that SLERF is leading Solana. It's good to have a position in both, and so you can get both of the gains. But I think Solana is obviously an extremely strong token, and I'm definitely looking to kind of pick up more on the pullback. We're getting a little bit of a pullback now. Probably the same as kind of Bitcoin, just coming to kind of clear these lows and then up. You know, that's kind of what I want to see, actually. Maybe that's enough. It doesn't really need to go all the way down here. Yeah, I don't even think it needs to go down to here, although that would be kind of a really nice entry after this pump. But I think it might just, if we can get a reaction, a strong reaction at these lows here, then that might be enough. And naturally, you just have to see Bitcoin find support. You see here, look, the golden, not the golden pocket, but the point of control. You've got the value area low. Could we clear the lows? That would be nice to kind of take the low here, clear the liquidity, and then head up, right back up to the top. That's kind of what I'm imagining right now. Probably there is some kind of fib ratio here as well. So 50% would bring us to here, which is kind of what I like this area. And obviously the golden pocket will bring us perfectly to the neckline here of this breakout. So they're both good, but you just have to wait for the reaction, see where the volume is coming in. And this is an easy trade, you know, a swing failure of this low is a really easy trade. You see a swing failure. And take it right back to the top. And once you see the reaction, you have an invalidation, and you could just take that right to the top. See a good reaction there. So kind of I'm looking at Solana as well. If you're just trading spot, you can just scale in, dollar cost averaging. If you're using leverage, then you just have to wait for the reaction. Risk a certain amount, 1% usually, or half if you're not sure, and have a clearer validation, which is the pivot that's put in after the swing failure pattern at this low. Okay, Solana is one of those tokens that could quite easily hold the point of control as support, so it could easily put in a higher low here. And continue going up. Solana could do that, but you have to wait for it to do that. Don't preempt it. And right now we're finding a little bit of support, but you look at the structure of these candles forming. They're really bearish, aren't they? You're getting some really strong bearish candles, increasing volume. So you wouldn't want to just catch a falling knife here and try and scale in here. You'd want to wait for this to bottom out. You see we're getting a big corrective move here on Solana and SLERF, and these are right now, these are quite strong tokens. So when you're getting big corrections on these two, then it probably means the rest of the market is actually feeling a little bit weak, and it all kind of correlates to Bitcoin. Yeah, so there's a little bit of weakness. Look, see, Bitcoin is showing a little bit of weakness right back at the point of control. This is a good place for Bitcoin to find support, but you wouldn't just catch a falling knife here. You'd have to wait for it to show that this is support. At the moment it's getting a little bit of a good reaction, but you see the volume is coming down. You'd have to wait for it to show you that this is support. So generally from a touch like that, it's hard to see. You usually want to see a loss and a reclaim. That would be the best way to see support, a loss and a reclaim. All right, so that's kind of all my tokens that I'm interested in this morning. I've gone over TRVL, Bitcoin, SLERF, SUI, and Solana. And like I said, I'm kind of deleveraged completely. I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to come into some kind of higher time frame support. I've got some ideas, yeah, and I'll take it level by level, see where it's, just keep an eye on it, see where it's going to start finding support. Probably down here would be nice by Wednesday or Thursday, somewhere between 83 and 85 by Wednesday or Thursday would be really nice. If it kind of erratically goes down, breaks this lower trend line, and then heads down here, that's kind of what I'm imagining right now, and that'll be good. It would give people an opportunity to buy the dip, and then we can take these altcoins to the moon. All right,